Good morning. It is just gone 11 o'clock here on a Wednesday. I believe it is the 6th of May today, all day. I hope if you're able that you'll jump on and say hello. I'm going to be making a couple of things this morning, so I thought I would do that with you live. A couple of people asked me if I could do a video on the card that I posted last night, and so I thought I'd include that in my live video this morning. Good morning, Kath. How are you? What's happening? Are you actually going to school at the moment? Are you not going to school? What's going on there? That's a thumbs up. It is a beautiful day, but as sometimes happens at this time of the day, it's very bright coming in my window, so I'm sort of sitting around sideways to my desk so the sunlight isn't directly on my face, but it kind of comes and goes in through the window. I hope everyone is well. Hi Tracy. Hello. Hi Fran, how are you? And Linda, hello. Hi. So there's a fair bit going on at the moment. I'll just quickly start there as people are coming on. Demonstrators got to pre-order from the new catalogue yesterday. Started at 5 a.m. yesterday morning, although I think some people got on even earlier than that. Good morning, Carmel. How you doing? On leave to be a grandparent. Okay, get it. That's cool. That's a great job. Hey, a new hat for you, a grandparent hat. Congratulations. Yeah, so we got to pre-order. I can tell you, I've checked on my order twice today already to see if it's been shipped. Not yet, but I'm hoping it might get shipped today. Hi, Sheila. If it does get shipped today, that'd be great because I might see it by the end of the week. And then, of course, when it comes, I'm thinking it might be fun to do an unboxing video and you get your first look at lots of new things from the catalogue, the things that I was allowed to buy that I really felt that I had to have, which was still quite a bit. I decided what I normally do with pre-order. Hi, Tina. What I normally do with pre-order is I purchase all the things that I think I would like to use if I was to run a launch. And of course, right now we're not running face-to-face launches. I'm not sure when those restrictions will be lifted for us to be able to do that. But I am planning on doing a virtual launch. So a launch right here. I'm thinking I might do a couple of different kinds of launches and see what suits people. I might do a Zoom launch. Now Zoom is great. For those of you who don't know, it's a video conference call where I can see you, you can see me, we all get to look at each other, and I can even set up a separate camera for my card making, so you can look at me and talk to me and we can all, just almost like being together but without the hugs. Basically, it's just a hugless class. A hugless launch in this case. Basically, you'll be able to see what I'm working on and what I'm doing and see me using the new products. That will be my Zoom launch for anyone who'd like to be part of that. I'd love to hear who thinks that would be something that they'd like to do. For those who don't do Zoom or aren't comfortable doing video conferencing calls, I'm going to do a separate Facebook Live launch as well. You can come to both or either. Whichever one suits you better, and I'll let you know the dates and everything as soon as I know. Okay. Hi Felicity, how are you this morning? Hey Courtney, nice to see you. And Debbie, hi. Whereabouts in the US are you, Debbie? Yes, Tina, your order's in picking. Yes, we don't get to do expedited shipping here. Just shipping is shipping. There's no expediting, so you may get yours before I get mine. Still very exciting either way. So I can promise you there are lots of really gorgeous, beautiful new things coming. Some things I'm really excited about. I love the new in colors. They're fabulous. I can show you the cover of my new catalog. I'm just not allowed to show you the actual catalog. And where is that? Let me just see. I had it a moment ago. I will pop my phone in the holder in a moment. But I actually specifically picked up my... here it is, I think. Nope. I picked it up a moment ago, so I'd have it handy, and now I don't know where I put it. Isn't that typical? Typical of me anyway. I'll find it in a moment for you. I'd love to show it to you. I'm allowed to show you the cover. I'm not allowed to show you inside, just the cover. And a couple of people have asked me why that is the case. Why all the secrecy? You know, why does Stampin' Up do that? Actually, really good reasons. First of all, I mean, the simple reason, a really simple reason, is that demonstrators get the first look. It's a perk of being a demonstrator. So for us to be able to see it first and get our hands on the products first is kind of a bit of a bonus for us as like a thank you. But the other thing that that is a really big deal at the moment is there's some actually really unscrupulous companies out there, notably in China, that are actually marketing Stampin' Up! Products as their own. And what they do is they get hold of the new products really, really fast, and basically as soon as they can get their hands on the stuff, they actually start producing those products. And not only is it a slap in the face to all the artists who Stampin' Up! Employ to actually produce all the images and everything, but it also means it takes away from our businesses. They're marketing products illegally. It's a little bit like pirated DVDs, actually. It's just as illegal. It's, you know, as we all know, that's a crime. And they're doing the wrong thing by stealing. I even saw one company is actually using the whole annual cover of our current annual catalogue, actually using that whole cover as their own. So, you know, never mind about trying to come up with their own ideas. It's just easier for them to rip off Stampin' Up!, which is really sad. I mean, it does show you how in demand Stampin' Up! Products are, but it's really sad that you've got companies out there doing that. And where do they get the images for all the new stuff? They find somebody who's prepared to sell them the PDF. And the PDF is what we get first before you guys get to see it, before our stuff even arrives. That's what we actually order from. Unfortunately, they're doing the wrong thing. So if you ever come across imitation stuff out there, not through a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, you can rest assured it is not the real deal. It's not made with the same quality products. It's not built to last, and you'll be getting basically something that is taking away from the intellectual property and the livelihood of demonstrators around the world. So that's just a little bit of information why they released the PDF to demonstrators only, and it's all secret. We're not supposed to talk about it or any of that. Okay, so it's amazing to me that even has to be a thing, but it is. Hi there, Judy. How are you? New York, Debbie. That's cool. I hope you're safe over there. Yes, Tina, I'm forever losing stuff. Always. I just literally had it before I started the video and went, there it is, and now I don't. But I will find it for you in a minute. Hi, Maureen. How are you? How is the family? Janice, hello. Hello. Did you hear what I said last time, Janice, about Emma being 18 this year? It's scary. And hi, Sue. How are you? Nice to see you. Okay, I might get started pretty quick today. The other things that are happening right now, so for anyone who didn't hear me say this already, I'm hoping if my order from the new catalogue arrives this week, I'm hoping to do an unboxing video for you, hopefully before the end of the week. So as soon as it comes, I'm planning on that video happening. So you'll be able to see me open it up and all the new products at the same time as I get to see them. So that'll be cool. I'd love to share that with you. Hands up if you'd like to see it. It's exciting to me, so I'm hoping it's exciting to you guys too. For anyone who's been thinking of joining at the moment, you can actually get pre-order stuff, so new catalogue stuff in your kit. That's my understanding, so I will double check that, but I'm pretty sure that's right information, so that's pretty cool. So that's another way of getting your hands on it early and at a discount too. Okay, all right, I am going to pop this in the holder and let's get making. I'm going to switch the phone around, so you'll probably be looking at the ceiling for a moment. Just bear in mind, I can't actually answer your questions or comments while I'm making because I'm busy with my hands and my brain is in creative mode, but I will come back in and check your comments as soon as I can. Okay, so give me a second. Here we are. All right, there's a bit of sunlight and shadow on my desk. I'm sorry about that. I feel sometimes it comes and it goes. So if the sun goes behind the tree or behind a cloud, all of a sudden it will. But hopefully you can see that okay. And let's see how we go. Is that all right? I'm just going to start with a bit of Whisper White paper. I made a card last night that a few people have commented on, and I said I'd show people what I did today. So I've just got a piece of Whisper White thick cardstock. I use this thick cardstock for card bases. I love it. I think it's, if you're going to use white, this is the one to use. Our regular Whisper White, which is beautiful for stamping on, is not so great as a card base because it's a little bit flimsy. Okay, fantastic to stamp on, but for card bases I always go the thicker. So there is a different price point. The Whisper White, normal Whisper White, the thinner one, you get in packs of 40 A4 sheets, which is a lot. So that's what, I don't know, a ton of cards that you'll get out of that. And that's, I believe, $17, 17, or it might be $17.50 in the new catalogue. I'm not quite sure, but it's around that price. And the Whisper White thick is 20 sheets for I believe $13.50. I should check those prices for you, but if anyone happens to know, feel free to put that in the comments, but I'll have a look at that in the catalogue in a minute. So I'm going to duplicate the card that I did last night, which I'll quickly show you. Here it is here. So this one is the one that I did that everyone went, oh, that's pretty. To me, this is a really simple card. And I was actually quite, I'm trying to get not so much shadow on it. I was really surprised how much reaction I had to this card, to be honest, because last night I was nearly ready for bed and I just had this urge to make a card all of a sudden. I just wanted it to be simple and quick and allow me to get into bed in 10 minutes time, and that's the card that I made. So let me show you how I did it. For this one I'm using the Painted Poppies stamp set, which is in our current mini catalogue, this one here. And for anyone who doesn't know, this will also be going into the new catalogue. It is not retiring, so you'll be able to get this for quite a long time. There's no rush to run out right now and get it. It's a great set. It has matching dies and it is absolutely beautiful. I'm really, really loving the Painted Poppies. I've used them for lots of things. So what I'm going to do, I'm so sorry about the shadow that my camera stand makes. I'm just going to move that there, and oh, the sun's going behind the cloud again. See, all of a sudden it gets better. Okay, so I'm starting with this outline stamp, and I'm going to be stamping it in Night of Navy. So got my Night of Navy. This my ink, Night of Navy ink is. I've got a couple of customers, one in particular who has a love-hate relationship with Night of Navy ink because it tends to get everywhere. You can see how messy my ink pad is. It needs a good clean, actually. I'm just going to ink that up. And I'm just going to bring in a bit of scrap paper and I'm going to lay it down. So what I find, if you're using your grid paper, it makes this easier. So I'm lining this up so that it's actually on the grid, on the lines. And then I'm putting this down so it's a little bit in from the edge, but if I also use the lines with this, then I know it's straight. Okay, so I might actually bring it in just a little bit further. I'm actually bringing this one in a bit closer to the edge than my original card, which, to be honest, I thought was a little bit too far from the edge, but I'm just going to stamp over this this piece of paper so that the bulk of it is on the is here on the white, but I'm gone a little bit over, and I'm going to come down a little bit further, leave a gap, turn it a little bit so it's at a different in a different position, and then I'm going to bring it down again, right down here, down the bottom, turn it again. How's that? All right. So I've got three down here. Now I'm actually going to bring this over and I'm going to put it the other way, and I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to line it up on my grid paper. Grid paper is fantastic. If you don't have any, grab some. It's just so useful. And this is where I get to decide how wide I would like this to be. I'm putting it on this line here. So this is, from here to here is my panel. there's different ways of doing this, but I find this is quite simple. When I stamp this, I'm pushing quite hard, and the reason I'm pushing quite hard is because sometimes there is a little bit of a gap between the edge of the paper where the mask, this is basically a masking technique, where the edge of the masking paper is over the, sometimes it doesn't. Okay, so this is an example that I'm trying to show you right here. This piece here in the middle, see how there's a little bit of a gap? Can you see that in there? That's because the height difference, even though it's tiny, between this paper and here can leave a gap, and that's actually okay. We're going to compensate for that. So I'm basically putting these flowers, turn it around, I'm putting these flowers in between the original three. So I've gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When you're working with any kind of design on your cards, they usually recommend that we stick with odd numbers wherever possible. And the reason that we do that is odd numbers are more pleasing to the eye from a design point of view than even. And I don't even know why that is, it just is. So hopefully you can see now, I've got a kind of an invisible line here and here where my flowers disappear off the edge. Can you see that? All right. So the cool thing about having your paper, actually I'm going to start with, I'm going to put this back here. So I'm putting this edge here back on this line that I had originally. I'm just going to put that back there. It doesn't have to be in the same place this time, because now I'm going to use this same edge. I'm going to use Pretty Peacock. So I've got the Night of Navy for the outline. Pop that aside. Pretty Peacock I'm going to use with this kind of watercolouring stamp, and it fills in. It's not precise, it's not meant to be, but it fills in the colours of your poppy quite nicely. So we can turn this to be any way we like. I'll go like that. Doesn't matter if it goes over the edges, but once again give it a nice firm push in that line so we can minimise the gap. There's a bit of a gap. Can you see what I mean when I say the gap? Like between the paper and here, it's just that height difference. It's amazing. You wouldn't think it would make that much difference, but it does. And then I'm going to go down here as well, fill in this one. So I'm basically colouring my poppies with the stamp, so you can see they're kind of filled in. And now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to bring this over. Whoops, I think I just hit make sure that is still there. Sorry. I bumped the camera. Can everyone sort of see what I'm doing here? So this time I'm going to bring, and I counted when I put it on the grid paper just to make it easy, 1, 2, 3, and that's where my piece goes. So I'm putting it on the third line across, and using grid paper just makes that easy. It means you know that your line is going to be straight, so it's handy. And I'm going to colour these poppies over here the same as I did the other ones, imprecisely, but it just adds a nice little bit of soft colour. It doesn't matter that it doesn't match the outlines. I'm not worried about that. And same again. Okay, so does that make sense now what I've done here? I've kind of made this panel kind of come together. Now there's a number of ways we colour with this. I'm doing this a little bit different to the original one that I did. I'm going to put this on the edge again and count 3 across and put that back down again, because this time I want to add a bit of sponging. And see how I've got this gap, okay? I'm not worried about the gap. I'm going to bring in my Seaside Spray, which is my lightest colour. And I'm going to open that up, and I've got a sponge right here. There are so many different ways you can do these kind of single, this is what you call a single layer card, and I call this a panel card is what I call it. I don't know if that's the right name for it, but that's what I like to call them. So a single layer panel card, that's what we're doing. And I'm going to actually come in the space in between the poppies, and I'm going to come over this edge, sort of sponge in towards the middle. And I'm going to do the same thing down here. Whoop, put it back. That's easy enough to do. Sorry if this is wobbling the camera, I know it must be. All right, now remember before I said that we've still got a little bit of a gap. To help the gap not be so obvious, I also sponged a little bit on the edges with this lighter color. You could go in with the darker color if you wanted to, but I found the lighter color was just enough to sort of stop that gap edge. And hopefully you can see now we've pretty much filled in that gap. Can you see how it's starting to look? You could, if you want to, just do the one side and not even have the other side, but I'm going to do both. So I'm going to bring my paper around again. And that's where that goes there. So I'm putting this back down here. Masking is actually one of my favorite techniques. Can you see the gap there? All right, so I'm going to start with the open spaces and then I'll come back and fill in the gaps. All right, so I'm going to sponge over this edge, sort of working in towards the middle. So what happens here, if I do this, it means it's darkest on the edges and sort of lightening up in the middle, which I really like that effect. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing. Make sure it's just on the line there. Do the same again. You can also use brayers to get a similar effect. Little bit of different setup if you're going to use brayers. If you'd like to see me use brayers and do that another time to do a panel card with brayers, I'll show you how I do that. And I'm going to... You can see it, but you don't need very much ink for this effect to work really well. Now I'm going to go back in and just sort of fill in that gap with my lighter colour, or you could, if you wanted to, go in with your darker colour. If I don't think it's enough, then I probably would go up to the darker colour, but I think it will be enough. Just filling in the gaps. Okay, so now you should be able to see we've got this beautiful kind of soft effect where it starts a bit darker on the edges and softer in the middle, which I really, really like. And that's what using a sponge over the edge of the paper will do. Does that make sense to everybody? I hope it does. Okay, now totally up to you if you want to. On my original card, because I felt that my panel wasn't wide enough and I'd actually left too much white space here, I filled in this edge with some leaves, and I quite like it. Looks nice. I used the leaf stamp from the same Painted Poppy set, and then I coloured it in, coloured inverted commas, with this little kind of splotchy stamp that kind of just gave it a splotched coloured effect, which I quite like. And I might still do that on here. I'm deciding whether I wanted to or whether I might go. There's another splotchy stamp that I love from the same set, and it's this one. I use this one quite a bit. It's great for working over the edges of things if you want to give them a bit of a grungy look. I love all my grungy stamps. I've got a real thing for them. I think they look great on masculine cards, and they look great for scrapbooking. Really, really great coming out from behind a photograph. So this is an awesome stamp, and to be honest, I love the whole set, but I would have bought this stamp set probably just for this stamp alone because I just love it and I get so much use out of these. So I may come in with that. I'm actually kind of liking it like it is, but yeah, let's add a couple of leaves just to give you the effect. I don't think I'll use that one today. I thought I might have. Oh, I don't know. Maybe just for something different. Let's do something different. The colour I used for that was Old Olive. Do I want to do that? Or do I just want to... Sorry, not Old Olive. This is Mossy Meadow. I don't know what I'm talking about. Mossy Meadow to me is like a stronger, darker Old Olive. Old Olive is a bit brighter. It's still strong, but Mossy Meadow is actually, you'll find it in the neutrals family because it's so good with just about every colour palette. I use Mossy Meadow a lot. It's a great green, great for leaves and flowers and just fabulous. If you haven't got that one, then it's well worth it. All right, I'm actually having, I think, a little bit of an inspiration idea here, and I am going to use this bigger stamp, and I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to use it with my Versamark ink. So I don't want you to see my oh, okay, I'm going to show you, but it's a bit embarrassing. I've just ordered a new Versamark ink because this one is looking really grungy. It's got little dots all over it, and I'm wondering if it might be mold. Isn't that awesome? So time for this one to go. It's going out to pasture, and I'm getting a new Versamark ink. It still works, mind you. So I'm going to actually come in here and add a little bit of, we'll see if this idea works. I might have preferred it just as it was, but that's okay. And I might even do a little bit over here at the edge. Now, some of you may have already guessed what it is I'm going to do. Because I can. For those of you who don't know, our black embossing powder is one of the items on the retiring list. You won't be able to get that anymore. But we still have our metallic embossing powders. So I'm just coming in here with a little bit of a, this is silver that I'm using. I'm being quite liberal with it. And then tapping off the excess, and it goes back into the container, which I can then pop back into this container. You really don't need very much embossing powder at all. And I'm just going to use a dry aqua painter to get rid of a couple of little splotches of. Let's see how this ends up looking. It's an experiment. It's a work in progress. So it's like a different version of the one that I did last night. Totally different, really. But I like silver and blue together. This one I actually, because I had the green as well, added gold. Gold little embellishments too. These are the new gilded gems that are in the new catalogue, but you can get them now. These are actually an early release, so you can buy those right now. I love them. I did send them out last month to some of my thank yous. So if you don't have them, then by all means jump in and grab yourself some, but you may already have them. So I'm going to grab my heat tool, which is right here, and I'm just going to heat this, and let's see how it turns out. It takes a moment for the heat tool to heat up, but once it starts to heat, it then goes pretty quickly. There we go. If you get any warping of the page, what you can do is actually heat the other side. Very carefully, watch your fingers. But heat the other side sometimes will help the paper to stay flat. Now I've noticed I've done a bit of an overstamp down here. Let me see if I can get rid of that. Yeah, I can. Sometimes if you see that, and you might not see it until you start to heat your powder. Sometimes I can just So I kind of scratch that off before it actually hardens, and then I've just got to finish the rest of the powder. Okay, that's looking pretty cool. I like it. What do you think? Totally different to this one, but they both look pretty nice. Just something different. So the thing is with one layer cards, okay, if you are wondering what makes a great one layer card, I would normally say this is not a professional term, but I would say it just needs a trick. And when I say a trick, it might need you know, some sponging, or it might need some embossing, something a little bit special that isn't just stamping on its own. Usually I find any extra little thing just adds to that piece. Now I do actually have on this one I use the Just a Note from the Music from the Heart stamp set, which is this one. See, there's the Just a Note there, Music from the Heart. I actually think that Happy Birthday and that Just a Note are beautiful. I like the font they've used. And this is a great set if anyone has musical friends in their family. I love that you can actually turn the treble clef into a guitar by actually adding the guitar at the top, and it becomes a treble clef bass with the guitar handle. Not handle. I've forgotten the technical term, but anyway, you know what I mean. You can add this to that. So it's pretty cool. I'm just thinking, what else could I do? Maybe I will use that Just a Note. I want it to go right across here, and I'm wondering whether, because I've got my flowers here, whether I will need to, whether putting it straight onto the card is going to work, or whether I'll need to put it on on some sort of die cut or punched shape. If I do that, it's no longer a single layer card, is it? So I'll pop that onto my block and bring back in my Night of Navy ink, and let's see how that looks. I think it's going to be okay. I'm just making sure this is straight. I'm sorry if you have to look at the back of my head, because I want to make sure I come in here and get straight over that so I can get it straight. It's okay. I think it works. So there you go. Simple. I probably wouldn't worry about adding little gems because I've got my embossing, but it looks okay. Do you have a favourite? Do you prefer this one? I would have liked this one better if I'd made this just a little bit wider. I think this is too narrow. This is a better width. I like this, but maybe the embossing was a little bit too much. Maybe I should have done 3, not 5. But still, I don't mind it. There you go. These are nice cards, quick, easy cards to send out to people for any reason. With a sentiment like Just a Note, we do have a new set that I have ordered coming from the new catalogue that's got a Just Because in it. I love stamps that say Just Because it feels like it gives you permission to send cards to anyone at any time for any reason, and you don't actually need a reason. So there you go. So there you go. There's a card that we've done. And I wanted to do one more card with you today. Do we have time? Does everyone have time to stay and watch another card? What do you think? You prefer today's, Tracy? I'm just going back through the comments to see what people like. Hi, Carolyn. How are you? How is BC today? Jan, Barb. Hi, Barb. Hello, Lyndall. Hello there, Mary. Just quickly going through the comments. Odd numbers don't suit your OCD. Well, I'm sorry. So Sheila, did you hear me say the Just a Note is from the Music from the Heart set, this one, which I've actually got quite a bit of use out of. I'm surprised how much I've used it. I know, embossing is like magic. There is something really lovely about watching the powder change into a shiny, hard medium. It's very cool, isn't it? And embossing looks really nice on a 1-layer card. Hello Jan, you made it after all. Maybe you're at lunch or in a break. Oh, you do want more, Cindy? Okay, another one please. All right. Yes, bright and sunny here too, Carolyn. More. Okay, well let's do another card. All right, let's see. All right, let me move my poppies out of the way. Deciding what, actually I'm going to use a couple of the same colours. So, and this time I'm going to use the Ornate Thanks set. I'm going to make a Mother's Day card because Mother's Day is this weekend, right? And I did actually make a Mother's Day card, which I've already mailed. I've sent it, and it is back on my feed for anyone who saw it. And it was in Seaside Spray with the tulip set. And I was going to remake that card again today. And then I realised that my tulip punch has gone walkabout. I do not know where. I don't know if I've lent it to someone, or more likely it's just somewhere in my craft room, slipped down behind something, and you know how that works. So let me put this just a note back. And get set up. I've got my Stampin' Scrub, and I'm just quickly going to pop those back. I love all these little splotchy stamps in the Painted Poppies. If you don't have it, it's a great set to get. So who else is counting down the days to the new catalogue? I can't wait to actually be able to show you it all. And for those of you who've placed orders from me in the last year online, or being part of my regular classes or stamp clubs, you will all be getting your real copy in the mail. Okay, so look out for that. It is coming. I have already sent off the request to Stampin' Up as to who should get those. If you aren't on my list, if you aren't someone who's ordered from me before but you're interested in seeing these products, then please contact me, and I will send you one. You just have to be in Australia, but I will send you one. I've ordered a couple of boxes to come directly here to me. So yeah. I'm going to fold this piece of Whisper White Thick in half. I've got my bone folder here, and I'm going to flatten down that edge. So that one's ready to go. And I've got a piece of Seaside Spray cardstock here. Now, for this, I'm going to be using my Stamparatus. I haven't made this card before, but I know what I'm doing with it. Now, I'm going to use the Ornate Thanks stamp set, and I'm deciding which one I will use. Will I use So Grateful? No, I'm going to use Thanks. For those of you who haven't used a Stamparatus before, it's basically a stamp positioner, and it does a fantastic job of all kinds of different techniques that you can do with the Stamparatus. But to get set up, what I'm going to be doing is putting this piece of Seaside Spray cardstock, which I've measured to be a card front size, I'm going to be popping that here in the corner, and I'm going to put a magnet, one of the magnets that comes with the Stamparatus. There are two, but I usually only use one at a time. And I'm going to put this word Thanks right up the top here in the corner. I should bring it in a little bit from the edge. Okay. And then I'm going to bring over my plate. There are two plates. I don't have the other one attached at the moment. There's another one that goes to the top, but it actually gives you 4 stamping surfaces, because you've got this side, but you can also take them out and turn it around, and then you've got the other side as well. So you have 4 stamping surfaces with your Stamparatus, which is fantastic. So I'm going to be, I've put it down where I wanted it to be, I've picked it up with the plate, and now I'm going to come in with the Seaside Spray ink, which is the same colour as the base cardstock, and I'm going to ink up my stamp. Also, these are photopolymer stamps, the see-through clear stamps, which means I need to make sure I have my black mat. If I don't have my mat in, it doesn't give as good an impression, because you just need that little bit of extra foam to actually bring it up to the right level, and it stamps better when you have a layer of foam. If you're using cling stamps, the rubber ones, they already have foam, so you don't need the mat for those. The mat comes with the Stamparatus though, so you can use it with these guys. Okay, so what I'm doing here is called the hinge step technique. So I've stamped it once, and then I'm going to pick up my plate straight up, and I'm going to bring it down one hinge, and then I'm going to ink it up again. And you should be able to pretty quickly see how this works. It's very cool. It means I don't need to measure. I can just go straight from one stamp to the next without having to do any measuring. I could change colors if I wanted to. I could do a rainbow effect. It's actually really lovely because I'm not trying to measure to get these all equally distant apart. So it's going to be absolutely perfect every time. The other thing that Stamparatus is great for is if I don't stamp it very well, I can go in and give it another try. So just say I press this down, but it's actually, that's fine. Well, let's do a different example. Let's say I ink this up, and I thought I inked it up properly, but I didn't. So that when I move it down to the next one, I try to press it down, and see how I missed some over here because I didn't ink this up properly? Whoops, doesn't matter. I just ink it up again, and I do it again because it's in exactly the same place. So it will work out perfectly every time, and you can fix all manner of mistakes when you're using the Stamparatus. So your sentiments are always straight and they are always perfect. And I need to use my Stamparatus more than I do so I don't have mishaps. So you can see how that looks. I could do another one, but it's going to be half off, so I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to keep it at that level, and I'm going to pop my Stamparatus aside. And now I've got this great little panel here of thanks. Yep, five of them, that's right. Now I'm using some of the 6x6 in colour papers. These are retiring. They have 4 different designs, and they come in all the in colours. So you can see I could pop this piece of gingham on here, measure it so that it fits in this space, which I'm about to do, or I could use, which one will I go with? I've also got the darker. I think I might prefer the darker. Yeah, I do. Do you prefer the darker? I think that looks nice. So how wide do I want that to be? Let's see. Let's try 3.5. Oops, just grab my trimmer. Actually, my mini trimmer is closer by. You can't actually buy these anymore, guys. These were available as a celebration reward for new demonstrators, but I'm still using mine because I just love it. I'm deciding how. Well, let me try. I'll try 4 centimeters and see if that's about right. Every now and then I'm deciding is that the right width or is it too much? No, that's still too much. Let's go 3. I think that will be right this time. Yep, that's good. I am going to bring my big trimmer in. My big trimmer I prefer for doing longer pieces. Here we go. So I'm just going to put this in. This trimmer has been around now for a while. I'm loving mine. I love that the blades last for so long. They are fantastic and really, really fantastic for just keeping on going. I love them. So I'm going to use some snail. I like the gingham. I think it's my favourite, but I also like the script pattern. So that's the script pattern. That's really nice as well. But I've already got something written here, so I think I don't want it to compete with writing. We'll go with gingham instead. There we go. Little piece like that. And then I'm going to use, I just had a piece, I think I'll go with this. I've got this piece already cut, which could go over one of my things, or it could go over both. Or I did a card, actually, you know what, I might do it again. I did a card the other day that, you can see this will go on here. It doesn't need a lot else, but I am going to add just a, this is a similar card to what I did the other day. So back in with my trimmer, I'm going to cut a piece of like about 1 inch wide. And this is currently almost 4.5 inches, or no, 4.25 inches, or roughly 11 centimeters long, which is just a bit wider than the card. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my banner punch. This one's not going anywhere, we'll still be able to use that. I love the triple banner punch. And it's 1 inch wide, which means it fits exactly into this channel. I'm going to push it in as far as it goes and take off the end. Okay, then I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to take off the other end. If you want to look at it, you can actually put it in and see how far it is in the other end here. Oops, I need to get it out. There it is. And I'm going to go back to that thanks stamp, and I'm going to take it off my Stamparatus because I'm done with my step stamping. I'm going to put my thanks down and pick it up with my, it would be good if you, I'm going to put it down on my grid paper. It helps to put it on your grid paper, and then also put your, use the grid paper to make sure that you're picking it up straight. And I'm going to go with the darker colour here. Now, if this is going to end up on here, do I want that to go in the middle, which means it won't be lined up with the other thanks, or do I want it to line up with the other thanks? If I want it to line up with the other thanks, the easiest way to do that is to actually position it on here, and then I have to bring my head in again, I'm sorry. Just like that. So it's going to line up with the other ones. Now, if I wanted to, I can put an embellishment here, which actually probably, yeah, I think I will do that. I did do that in the card that I did recently that was similar to this. I'm going to ink around the edges of this with my Seaside Spray, the lighter colour. And actually I'm going to use my sponge just to, should just use my sponge in the first place. Okay, so I've got this bit of extra space here, and I'm going to put a couple of dimensionals under here. So it's a pretty simple card, really, but it'd be a nice Mother's Day card. Once again, I was going to use the Timeless Tulips one. That actually does have, for anyone who has Timeless Tulips, it has a Happy Mother's Day sentiment in it, which is rather handy. Now I've got, do I want gold, or would I be better with silver? This is actually one of the butterflies from the, what's the name of it? And where are my paper snips? Never mind, I'm just going to, don't tell anybody, I'm just using my ribbon scissors for a second, which I never do. I keep them only for ribbons. But they're handy, so I'm using them. Okay, and then I've got some glue dots. This, yeah, the butterfly is from the Butterfly Beauty die set. And what's cool is you punch out all 5 butterflies at a time, and then you're left over with lots of little butterflies that you can use on different projects. Just like that. And I'm going to use my sponge as well to go around my whole card before I attach it to the white base. And if you want something a little bit more, if you want to, you could add, if you need more, you could add some ribbon behind here as well. I did that in my last card that I did like this one. If you're looking for the card that's similar to this one, I did it in Coastal Cabana, so it was a lot brighter. I just really love Seaside Spray and Pretty Peacock together. I'm going through a real stage of those. There we go. Now to pop this together, I'm just going to use some multi-purpose adhesive, which I find fabulous for putting cardstock to cardstock. I've got a new video coming out in the next day or two, so look out for that. That'll be over on YouTube. If you're not on my YouTube channel, go subscribe. and you'll see when I put up new videos over there. It's rather cool because the technique is a new background technique that I came up with, and I'm really excited about it. It does beautiful cards. Would you like to see the card that I made with it? I did actually post it here. This is the one. And I'm going to probably, I don't know if I'll do the same card in the video or I might do a different card, but I'll have a couple of different examples of how you can create this background. And see, there's that same splotchy stamp that we used today on the other card. That's the same one that I used before from the painted poppies. But this background here, I was so excited how that turned out, and I can't wait to show it to you. So stay tuned for that. That'll be coming out. So if you didn't hear me say it earlier, later in the week, I'm hoping my pre-order will arrive. And when I do, I'm going to have an unboxing, so you can come here and watch me open that and tell me what you think of the products that I've ordered and the new stuff that you will be able to get your own hands on in less than a month. It's only a few weeks away now, so very exciting. 3rd of June we go live. Okay, so there's a couple of cards that I've made today with you. This one and the poppies one. I was going to show you the cover of the other catalogue, but it hasn't shown up. And I'm wondering where the heck I put it, because I just had it literally before I started this video. It just seems that sometimes I put things down and who knows. Well, that's okay. I will show you more of that next video, but I'm not allowed to show the inside of the catalogue yet anyway. It'll only be the outside. I hope you like the cards we made today. I love coming here because I normally run face-to-face classes every Wednesday morning. It's been a good time while I'm not running face-to-face classes to actually come in here and do videos for you guys. So once things go back to normal, whatever that might be, I might not be doing the same time, but if you guys are enjoying Wednesdays, or if you are interested in me swapping to a different day, I'd like to keep them going because it's been great. I love showing them to you. It's fun for me, and I hope it's enjoyable for you. Let's bring those cards back. Bring that one in as well. So have a great day, guys. I'm going to head off. I will check all the comments. Was there any other questions before I leave? Before I say goodbye? Hi Sue, how are you? Rachel, hello. How are you doing? How is Tim and the boys? Hey Denise, how are you? Hi Karen. How's everything over there? Is the weather warming up in the US? Or are you in Canada? I know you're over there somewhere. Hi Suzanne. Thank you so much, Carolyn. Yeah, the video will be up soon. Oh, don't worry, Mary. If you you can always watch the replay. I will repost it. If there's any other questions, just ask them, and I'll check back, and any new comments, I'll see them. So don't think you can only ask questions or comment during the video. You can also comment after. It doesn't matter. I will see them. Have a great day, everyone, and stay safe wherever you might be. Hope all is well. See you soon. Bye.